everybody, my name is Sonnet and I love to talk about crochet and books and amigurumi and all things crafty. And in today's video we have something a little bit different. If you didn't see last week's video, I actually just recently went to Salem, Massachusetts to attend the Fiber Witch Festival, and oh my gosh, it was so fun. The last video was a kind of vlogish overview of my weekend in Salem and my overall thoughts on the Fiber Witch Festival. But now we're going to have a fun little video where I talk about all of the things that I purchased on that trip. Now, this is not going to be just Fiber Witch Festival focused. This is going to be all of the things that I purchased on my trip in Salem because I did have somewhat of a budget. I didn't want to go too overboard, so there's not a ton of stuff. So I just thought we would all combine it together into one nice little video. So the very first thing that I bought in Salem was this Entering Salem beanie. It is just your standard kind of knit hat with a Entering Salem sign. I can't quite remember the store that I bought this one in. It's a little store that's right next to the trolley depot, and it was actually open a little bit later than some of the other ones, and I really liked this beanie. I thought it was really cute. I thought it was a great souvenir for Salem, and I knew I was going to need a hat like this for the cold weekend that we were in for. So there it is. There is my Salem hat. Probably won't need it much now that springtime is here, but once fall and winter time come back around, I will definitely be using this one a lot. So Saturday is the day that we actually did go to the festival, but we didn't go to the festival right away. We actually did a tour of the House of the Seven Gables first before we went to the Fiber Festival. I did go over that whole tour in my previous video, so definitely check that out if you want to know my thoughts on the House of the Seven Gables. But as far as shopping goes, I bought 3 things from the House of the Seven Gables. The first thing is I did buy this cute little magnet. I just had to get a magnet to Salem, MA, the House of the Seven Gables, and then it does have this nice little sketched rendition of the house itself with the beautiful trees in the back. I just thought this was perfect. And then I also bought this. This is a little ornament actually of the House of the Seven Gables, but I decided to take the little hook and the little hanging ribbon off just because I didn't want it as a ornament. I love like little tiny trinkets, and my plan is to put it on this little shelf back here. I just thought it was the perfect size to have this cute little House of the Seven Gables behind me to always remind me of my trip to Salem. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. So the front of it does say the House of the Seven Gables, and then the back says Salem, MA, 1668. So there it is. There is the little house. And again, it's going to be going behind me. And lastly, from the House of the Seven Gables, I did buy this journal. It is a pretty large journal, and it's not actually, merchandise from the House of the Seven Gables, but it does support the house. They had it there in their gift shop, and I love a blank journal, especially if it has a gorgeous cover. And I mean, that is lovely, right? So this is unlined, 240 pages by Paper Blanks. I believe you can get this brand many places. Okay, there we go. There you can see the cover. Look at that gorgeous like purple and gold cover with all of the filigrees and things. Oh my gosh. Absolutely gorgeous. I plan to use this, I want to say, as kind of like a gardening, apothecary, herbalism type of notebook. Those were the 3 items that I got from the House of the Seven Gables. So after our tour with the House of the Seven Gables and our lunch, it was then time to go to the Fiber Witch Festival. I did purchase advance tickets, and our time frame was from 1 p.m. till 3 p.m. So anytime during that time, we could have entered the festival, and we got there pretty much right at 1 o'clock. I was really excited. There was a little bit of a line, but nothing too bad. And now my budget for the Fiber Festival was $100. Again, I was on a pretty tight budget for this whole entire trip. I didn't want to go overboard. I could have spent so much money in Salem, and I really didn't want to do that. I did, though, go over my budget at the Fiber Witch Festival, but of all the places to go over my budget, I mean, it makes sense that it was at the Fiber Festival. So the first goodie that I bought from the Fiber Witch Festival was actually a sticker, and this is from Sassafras Knits. So this is the Fiber Witch sticker. I just thought this was super cute. It says Fiber Witch on there. I thought it was really fun. I do believe they have more of these on their website, so I will have links to all of the vendors that I did buy for down below, so you can go ahead and check out their stuff if you're interested. But yeah, Fiber Witch sticker. The next item that I bought two things, and these are the Midnight Teas. So Midnight Teas is a tea vendor from Salem, and I just had to get some of these. They did have a sample of this one. This is called Tempting Treat, and it is pomegranate and chocolate. Now, the theme of the Fiber Witch Festival this year, 2025, was Persephone. So there was a lot of like pomegranate themed Persephone stuff. So it makes sense that this one was there. And oh my goodness, I had a sample of this and it was delicious. I feel a tea like this is the perfect after dinner tea if you have a really bad sweet tooth, but you're trying really hard, like me, to not eat ice cream every day. The only thing is this one does have a little bit of caffeine. So if you are caffeine sensitive, especially late at night, just keep that in mind. Let me go ahead and read you the back of this because it's just too cute. Bet you can't wait to get your furry little hands on this. A decadent and desserty Ceylon tea that marries the tart, sweet flavor of pomegranate with the rich, creamy notes of dark chocolate. Sure to tempt anyone looking for a little treat. That's me. There I am, needing a little treat. And now I have my tea. Now they also did recommend this one as like a cold brew, and I love hot tea for sure, but I also love a good iced tea. This one is called Sunbath, and it is pineapple and coconut hibiscus, perfect for laying in the sun. A seductively sweet, mildly tart herbal blend that evokes peaceful summer days. This tropical blend is excellent served iced. Steep overnight in fridge for extra full flavor. So yeah, those were the two teas that I got from Midnight Teas, and I believe they have an online presence. Let me check. Yes, they actually do have a online presence too. So if you love tea, definitely check them out. So the next item I bought is from a vendor that I also believe is from Massachusetts, and this is Gate and Garden Herbal Apothecary, and I got the Gold Dust Woman Botanical Body Oil. Just really beautiful. I love it. It is very florally. It does have a very strong rose scent, but I love it. And it just made my skin feel so soft. It was just wonderful, and I wanted to support this company, so I did get Gold Dust Woman. So the next item I bought at the market, I knew I was going to buy one of these even before I went. And that's because I was following the Fiber Witch Festival on Instagram, and they had been posting a couple of posts about these embroidery kits, and I just knew I had to get one of them. And this is the Eos Moth Embroidery Kit by Sabito Farms. Now this is also another Massachusetts vendor, and I just loved the look of these moth and butterfly embroidery kits. They had a whole bunch of them. I chose this one just because I love the little moon phase up top. I think that is absolutely adorable. And I loved the colors. There were a couple I had my eye on, but I ultimately went with this one. Here is a post from their social media of what the finished embroidery moth will look like. But I just thought this was really fun. I really liked this idea of an embroidery kit, and the kit includes the linen fabric pre-printed with the design, which is really helpful, bamboo embroidery embroidery hoop, embroidery needle, and all the necessary Sabito Farm Fox Hill wool / silk threads needed to complete the project. Also instructions and a stitch guide. So as someone who doesn't embroider a lot, but who definitely wants to get better at it and loves embroidery things, I love the look of it. I thought this was going to be really fun. Next up is the only yarn that I bought from the Fiber Witch Festival. Now there were a ton of yarn vendors that I am not familiar with, and I wish I could have bought yarn from everybody. I really wish I could have supported every single business, but I decided to buy yarn from Muse 2320. Now I have purchased a lot of Muse 2320 yarn in the past. I've purchased online kits. I purchase Muse 2320 when I see them at fiber festivals here in Colorado. I love the yarn, and these were absolutely beautiful. And I also got the hood pattern. Now this looks like it was a yarn shop hop pattern from 2024, and this is called the hood, but Muse 2320 had the hood on display at their booth, and it was just gorgeous. And this was the special colorway that they had dyed up for the Fiber Witch Festival. It is the Persephone colorway. So the hood, this one here, that I have the crochet pattern for, you actually hold the bumblebee slub together, which is this one. This is 90% superwash merino wool and 10% nylon. And then this one is the Persephone in the egret, which is 74% baby Surrey alpaca and 26% silk. So you hold them together to make the hood, which I'm really excited to do. And again, it's gonna be a little warm for some of these projects, but I'll have them for when, winter time and fall time come rolling back around. So that was the only yarn purchase, but not the only fiber purchase. I did buy the this here. So this has fiber from vendors that I'm not familiar with, but yeah, that was what I got from Muse 2320, and I did get a sticker, which is really fun. I didn't want to buy too much yarn either, just because I get so paranoid when it comes to like the weight of my suitcase. My suitcase was nowhere near 50 pounds, but I was still terrified that even if I bought a couple more hanks of yarn, that I was just going to go over. So the last item that I bought at the Fiber Witch Festival is actually a project bag, and here it is here. Oh my gosh, I love it. This is from Dawn Catherine Studios, and this is really cool. It says on their Instagram, illustration, yarn bombing, and screen printing, specializing in yarn, fiber, and animal illustrations. So this designer here, they do their illustrations, and I believe it all was really focused on yarn and stuff. And I had to go with this one. They had also a snake one that I was really drawn to. For whatever reason, I was really drawn to all the snake and serpent stuff that was at the Fiber Festival this year. So here it has a raven. I believe it's actually a crow on the item description on the website. But standing on a hank of yarn and a bunch of shiny things, including the moon and stars. And I love that they're gold. I am a gold person. I don't know, just love gold jewelry and gold accents and things. So I had to go with this one because of my love of Edgar Allan Poe and ravens and things. I had to do it. So this is the one that I decided to go with, and it's perfect. It's been holding all of my Salem goodies, and so it is already well loved, and you can never go wrong with another project bag. I also did get a bookmark from this vendor, so there's the bookmark as well. That was it for the Fiber Witch Festival and all of the things that I bought there. But we're not quite done with Salem purchases yet. I was able to pick up a couple of more things on Saturday, and the first thing was this little witch. Hold on, she has a little string here that I want to trim off. So let's do that. There we go. Okay. I have this little witch here, and it does say Salem on it. Cute little pink or purple witch. So I bought this for my daughter. She does have a broom that she holds, but since my daughter does sleep with her, we took the broom out and she only puts the broom in when she's not sleeping. Also at the Trolley Depot, I did get a Salem, Massachusetts magnet, and this is the one that my husband had picked out. Cute little Salem magnet for our fridge. The next item that I bought on Saturday, I knew I wanted to get something from the store for the past couple of months, just because I would hear so much great stuff about it, and that is Witch City Wicks. So I knew I wanted to get like a rollerball perfume from Witch City Wicks, and I wanted to buy it that way I could wear it on my Salem trip, and then now every time that I put this on or that I smell it, I think of Salem. And this one is called Night Garden. It's like florally, but not. It smells so good. It smells so fresh. So it does smell florally, but it doesn't smell like the artificial floral, if that makes sense. But I also had to get the room spray just because the scent is that incredible. Not only do I want my body to smell like this, I want everywhere around me to smell like Night Garden. It just smells so good. It says here it is moonflower, juicy pear, and agave with soft floral and a powdery blend of dark musk and amber, which makes sense. It does have like I said, the soft floral. Ooh. And I can definitely smell the dark musk and amber. There is a little bit of it. So it smells really sweet at first, but then it kind of takes this little turn, and that's the dark musk and the amber. And then the moonflower, juicy pear, and agave, I just feel like adds to that kind of sweetness of the floral. I love it so much. I'm hoping that this is a product that they have all the time. That way this can be like my signature scent because it just smells so good. Now, Sunday we were pretty tired. We did sleep in a little bit more, and we did do a little bit of shopping, but not as much. I only got a couple of things on Sunday. Yeah, just 2 things. Is that it? Yeah, I guess just 2 things. I got this Salem sweater here. I really wanted a sweater that said Salem on it. I got this from, I believe it's called The Moons gift shop. They had a ton of options for like t-shirts and things like that. So it really was a nice selection. They had a lot of souvenirs as well. I feel like this shop here and the Trolley Depot were really good shops if you wanted those really traditional touristy type of shops and touristy types of merchandise. And so, yeah, Salem, Witch City, Massachusetts. It's so soft. I loved the color. And yeah, just had to get a sweater that said Salem. Now, the last souvenir that I purchased is my favorite souvenir. And it is the one souvenir that I told myself I wanted more than anything from Salem. And again, this was Sunday, so I had already spent a huge portion of my budget at the Fiber Witch Festival. And so I almost didn't get this, but I just felt really sad thinking of going home without this one souvenir that I had been waiting so long and had been wanting to do for so long. And that was, of course, aura photography. Now, there is some aura photography throughout Salem. I believe there are a couple of places you could get aura photography done, but I got mine done at Ascend on Essex Street, and wow, it was absolutely incredible. I was so excited to do it. I finally did. And now I'm so happy to see my aura photography done. I'm going to keep it forever. It's something I'm going to remember forever. It does come with the chart on the back, but you also do get a interpretation reading when you do the aura photography. So there are a lot of places here in Colorado where you can get aura photography done. And I've thought about going to those places. but I really wanted to get it done in Salem. I just thought it was going to be the most special and just the perfect souvenir. It's not, it's something I can keep forever. And I was actually surprised, but not surprised by my aura. It's very colorful. And essentially how it was interpreted for me is that there is a lot of playfulness. There is the orange in there for the creativity. So that's especially this side. But there's also a lot of the blue on this side and the green. So that is loving and nurturing and kindness. So the way it was told to me, I do have a serious side to me, that I take my work and I take things very seriously, and I'm very empathetic, and that I am very loving and kind. But I also have that really playful side too, which I think makes sense. And yeah, just some other things. It was an amazing experience. I love my photograph. My sister ended up getting hers done as well. And it was really kind of wild to see the two differences. Were very much the same, but also very different. And I feel like you can tell by my sister's aura that she is the older one. She's definitely the older sibling. So it was really fun. It was a really cool experience. That's it. Those were all of the things that I bought from Salem. Again, the Salem stores are unlike anything I've ever experienced before. When I was talking to my sister and I asked her towards the end of our trip, what is your favorite thing that we did? And she responded, I think it's shopping. I think it was the shopping, not because we bought a lot of stuff, but because the shops are just so different and intricate and just really unique. And they really go all in on their theming or whatever it is that these shops are trying to tell you. They go all in. The decorations of some of these shops are unlike anything I have ever seen before. And it just makes walking around and going into these shops just so fun. It's incredible. And I couldn't have thought of anyone else that I would rather have gone shopping with in Salem than my sister. So it was great. It was wonderful. I loved the Fiber Witch Festival. That's the reason we went. And all of the vendors were incredible. Everybody was so kind. Everyone was so nice, and it was really cool. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. But thank you everyone for joining me. Thank you everyone for being so patient as I get back into posting more and more videos. We do have crochet content coming, don't you worry. So yeah, I just want to say I love you so much. You are so wonderful, and I will see you all a little later. Bye.